hear the captivating voice of an icon in the movie industry. You have heard him and seen him in performances in over 140 films. He's met and influenced many world leaders, and now he's about to tell you how to unite the America he loves.
That job's filled.
Unique. Brilliant. And unpredictable. Robert Davi is a Renaissance man who writes, directs, sings, and does it all with excellence.
Yes, okay, we're all very impressed, but let's get on with it now.
Robert Davi believes he should use his voice to both repay and help unite America, the America that made his dreams come true.
No more Mr. Nice Guy.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is The Robert Davi Show.
Well, my dear friends, welcome again. Now, yesterday I started off from my new domicile in another state. I left California. I talked about it. Some people loved that segment. I'm going to go a little more into it, especially for those of you who love that segment. I know people like when you rant and get wrangly political, but life is life, my friends. Life is life, and my life right now is a little bit upside down because of all the turmoil of moving. And I think people are moving in droves from different states. And I want to appeal to you out there that are contemplating a move. It is difficult. It is one of the most difficult things you can imagine. It's frustrating. It's especially when you have people pecking at you for whatever reason. And then you get inundated with every single, fix-it person. And I spoke about it yesterday. Well, I have to, because this is what I'm doing 24/7. I'm getting the home ready for my family, and that's primary to me. My listeners are primary, but I first have to have my domicile relaxed and peaceful so I can then expound politically on Beijing projects power and their united front with Russia during the Olympic Games. The Communist Games begin. And what did you think was going to happen, my dear friends? What did you think was going to happen with the Communist Games? China. The deals. I just directed the film, as you know, My Son Hunter. And when you see this movie, the deals that were made with China are astounding. And the influences. Now, it's sad to me that the left and the right in America. Now, Breitbart did an article yesterday about the amount of Republicans, mind you, that have been made deals with the Chinese. Now, we don't hear enough about that, do we? Have you heard about it? And like I've said, Breitbart is like, they just want to find out. They just want to expose and tell the truth on both sides of the aisle. And I think it's kind of, it was an eye-opener, my dear friends, to see the politicians on the right, those politicians on the right that have sold this country, our country, down the river, in terms of making political deals with the Chinese. And we let them do it, mind you. Isn't that sad? Do you find that a bit sad? I do. I think it's something that we have to... 23 former U.S. senators and congressmen who lobby for Chinese, the military, intelligence community, and think about that. 23 Republican senators. And that's a frightening thing, don't you think? I mean, for me it is. When we... I'm looking for something right now, and my internet and, I don't have everything set up correctly yet, my dear friends. So you must forgive me for stumbling a little bit. I know it's terribly frustrating for you. But until I have it all set up nicely like I did a few years ago, they had an engineer come to the house and they set up everything beautifully for me. Until I can get that set up correctly, it's a little bit stumbly for me. So forgive me, my dear friends. No man is an island, and I must be able to let it run. Let it run, my love. Yeah. Okay. And so let me go here. Let me find out. Chinese Republicans, because I want to talk about this. I'm looking it up right now. I have no time to really do a prep for the show right now because I'm prepping my home for my wife and children. And so you must forgive me. And I know if you're driving along. Okay, here we go. Here's what I wanted to see. Very good. So, the senior editor, contributor, and Government Accountability Institute, Peter Schweitzer, he's the president, latest investigative expose, red-handed how American elites get rich helping China win. Now, hear that. How they get China win. Is it okay? I think it's okay, dripping. Did it just say let it drip? What did the message say?
It said to drip, but it started flowing.
Okay, good. We got to do that again in another 2 hours. Yeah, what we're doing, I'm sorry again, we have people coming to the house doing reverse osmosis, putting in the water softener, fixing things, and it's a continued parade. So while I'm doing this, my wife has to test different water things. I don't have certain areas where I can peacefully, it's chaotic. It's absolutely chaotic. And so forgive me. Getting back to these U.S. senators, 23 senators and congressmen lobbied for Chinese military or intelligence-linked companies after leaving office. Now, in my film, we talk about Hunter Biden doing this and Joe Biden involved in some way. But the many lawmakers cash in after leaving office by becoming lobbyists for corporations and other special interests. Now, you would hope that they would not become advocates for America's primary economic and political adversary, Communist China. But guess what? This new book by Peter Schweitzer reveals that many former congressmen, congressional leaders, committee chairmen, rank and file members are lobbying for Chinese intelligence and military-linked companies. Now, at the beginning of this COVID thing, I wrote a 59-page or 57-page COVID abstract, the origins of it, and the 1,000 Talents program at the universities of Harvard and Yale. We have been infiltrated, my dear friends. There's no mistake. We've been infiltrated. And this is what's happening. The following former members of Congress, majority are Republicans, have lobbied for Chinese military or intelligence-linked companies. John Boehner, remember the Republican from Ohio? He was he began when he was Speaker of the House, and the Republicans maintained the majority in 2011, and they were in the midst of passing a currency manipulation bill, the Currency Exchange Oversight Reform Act, to hold China accountable for keeping its currency artificially low, thus making it easier to boost its exports. And they hired Square Patton Boggs, one of DC's most influential law firms, for $35,000 per month to block the bill. They blocked the bill for $35,000 per month. Now, this SPB registered as a foreign agent of the Chinese embassy in Washington after decades of close ties to the Chinese government. And the Chinese government manipulation bill sailed through the Senate with a 63 to 35 vote, featuring strong bipartisan support. However, John Boehner would not allow the bill to come to the House floor for a vote, even though half of the House Republican conference and an overwhelming number of Democrats supported the bill. It's a pretty dangerous thing to be moving legislation through the U.S. Congress, forcing someone to deal with the value of a currency, Boehner said. He argued that the bill would lead to a trade war. Now, Schweitzer said it should be no surprise that when Boehner retired from public office in 2015, guess where he joined as a strategic advisor to American and foreign clients? SPB. Yeah, he joined them. And they advised and helped Beijing navigate issues that will threaten their interests. And it includes guidances on the defense appropriations process, the 2020 general elections, American policy on Hong Kong, Taiwan, Xinjiang, human rights, immigration, trade, and sanction legislation. His firm also advised for Chinese government-linked corporations such as ChemChina, China Railway Stock Corporation, Huawei, and Wanhua Chemical Group. So I'm not going to go into this whole thing, but it's so deep. It's so deep. The NPC, also for the National People's Congress, is the highest state power of the People's Republic of China. Now, Senator Tim Hutchinson, Republican, Arizona. Representative Rodney Freelingson, New Jersey, and Albert Wynn, Democrat, Maryland. More when we come back about who's been selling America, how they've been selling America from the inside of our government, how they've been betraying you and I and this nation. Makes no mistake about it, my dear friends. Back in a minute.
I'm Al Simon, 91 years young. I created Balance 7 20 years ago. I don't believe God intended for us to be old and sick. For 10 years, I studied pH and how important it is to the immune system. No doctor or hospital can do what Balance 7 can do for you. Balance 7 is the key to unlocking a healthy immune system. In 3 days' time, you'll feel more energy, less joint discomfort, and clarity of thinking. Bring your body back to balance. Order now and receive free shipping and a free bottle of My Smooth Skin.
Get your body back in pH balance with Balance7.com. Balance 7 unlocks the immune system. Your body will respond in a wondrous way. Your energy level will go up, joint discomfort will be reduced, and heartburn no longer a problem. We have a 100% money-back guarantee. You have everything to gain. If you're sick and you don't want to be, Balance 7 is the answer. If you're healthy and want to stay healthy, Balance 7 is the answer. Go to Balance7.com. That's Balance7.com. Use the code word BALANCE and get free shipping. Balance7.com. That's Balance7.com. For the getaway of your dreams, come to Hawaii's Playground, Ka'anapali Beach Resort, on the fun side of Maui, where the world comes to play. Find your spot on Ka'anapali Beach with 3 miles of white sand, 12 resort properties, 2 golf courses, and 2 shopping centers. Enjoy the playground of Hawaii's ancient royalty. Ka'anapali Beach Resort is Hawaii's original master plan destination resort and home of the Hawaii Food and Wine Festival. With views of 2 neighboring islands, you can breathe in the land's natural beauty from your favorite resort or golf fairway. Come experience Ka'anapali's own special brand of Hawaiian hospitality with world-class dining, relaxing resorts, water sports, and activities of every kind. For romantic, family, and great friend getaways, discover the options of Ka'anapali Beach Resort, where the world comes to play. Plan your getaway today. Visit Ka'anapaliResort.com. That's KAANAPALI Resort.com.
What are you going to do with your old car? You can try selling it, you could junk it, or you could donate it to Heritage for the Blind. Your car will be towed away for free, and your donation is tax deductible. Just call 1-800-785-9618. Heritage for the Blind accepts cars, vans, trucks, and boats. It doesn't matter if your vehicle runs or not. It will be towed away for free, and you'll be supporting those that need help. Heritage for the Blind is a nonprofit organization that helps the visually impaired live fuller lives. Call right now to donate your car, and as a special thank you for calling, you'll receive a free 3-day vacation voucher to many exciting locations. Call Heritage for the Blind right now, 1-800-785-9618. Donating is easy, and your vehicle is towed away for free. Plus, you'll get a free vacation voucher. Call now, 1-800-785-9618. That's 1-800-785-9618.
Robert Davi.
want you to know this is nothing personal. It's purely business.
Well, guess what, my dear friends? It is personal. It's personal to you and me. The amount of betrayal we're finding in our government, from both sides. I think it's terrible. These politicians, they are in office, they get paid by us, they get their retirement, for a great retirement for how many years, for the rest of their lives. And then they sell America piece by piece to foreign territories and our enemies like China. This is what we're talking about right now. We're talking about how 23, count them, former U.S. senators and congressmen who lobby for Chinese military or Chinese-linked companies, and a lot of them are Republicans. Many are Democrats. And I talked about Biner, and now I'm going into these other gentlemen, Hutchinson, Trent Lott, John Breaux, Democrat, Denham. You've got Republican, Democrat, Republican, Democrat. They're all in this together, my dear friends. And then you wonder why we're in chaos. And it goes so deep. It goes so deep. Joe Lichterman, Democrat from Lieberman, I'm sorry. Connie Mack, Republican. They lobby for ZTE Corporation. Connie Mack, Republican. John Christensen, Republican. Joe Lieberman, Democrat. They lobby ZTE, a military-linked Chinese telecommunications firm. One firm from one of these gentlemen received $2.94 million in 2019 for representing the company. Then you have Bonker, Democrat, Cliff Stearns, Republican, Florida, Lee Terry, Republican, Nebraska. They signed up for Huawei. However you say this, I don't know. The FCC declared that Huawei and ZTE a national security threat, and yet certain gentlemen that I named are on advisory boards protecting the interests or lobbying interests against people and companies, Chinese companies, that are considered a national security threat. And I've written about this with Thaddeus McCarter, I think it was in 2010. We wrote an article about the security threat, China being a huge security threat, on Breitbart. And now we have these wonderful Olympics. Now you've got Vedder and Muffet, Democrat, and Boucher, another Democrat out of Virginia. They got $70,000 per month from Hikvision, a Chinese surveillance company owned by a government-controlled conglomerate known as the China Electronics Group. And you want to know why no one cares about how much Hunter Biden made? Here's why. And the deals he made. Because it's done. It's done. Influence peddling. It's called influence peddling, my dear friends. That's what it's called. You're making deals. So this is how deep and how corrupt it goes. And we have no pure oversight committee. So you wonder why Hillary Clinton, who sold the uranium to Russia. Think about that one. It goes on all the time. We close our petroleum and oil company down, and we let Russia open up in Germany. And now the price of gasoline is rising in America. It's $90 a bottle now. A barrel. What are we doing to this country? I mean, I don't want to talk. I want you guys to do something. We've got the 2022 elections we've got to do something with. It is sad to me. It's very sad to me that we're parceling our nation with all the problems we have. It seems to be, I feel that America is in a quicksand. Think about that. America in quicksand. And we're sinking lower and lower. I don't know if we can pull out of it. I don't know if there's a hand reaching out from some solid ground who's strong enough to pull America out of this quicksand of political disgust. And we're not talking about it enough. We don't discuss this political disgust enough, do we? We're driving in our cars. We're happy. Running off to this area or that area. Let's get Chick-fil-A. Let's get a Whopper or a pizza. Ice cream cone. Let's take the kids to the doctor or to the park. Let's work 12 hours a day, 15 hours a day. 2 jobs. Surviving as our government is crushing and we're going into quicksand, and you've got the elite out there that have no clue what you're going through. They have no clue what you're going through, your suffering, your pain, if you have time to even feel it, because most of us are numb now. Now we're becoming numb. Fentanyl deaths going up. The border opening like that. Fentanyl coming across the country like crazy. We're not doing anything about it, are we? And the power elite and the power makers in Hollywood giggling behind our backs, laughing. How do we pull it all together? How do we grab a hold of America and pull it out of the quicksand of our political slime? And then you wonder why somebody like Donald Trump comes along and they hate him. I mean, what he had to face. I don't care about his ugly tweets. I don't care about his past as a businessman. I care about a man that has the strength and love for this nation to come and want to pull it up out of this quicksand, that there's no one strong enough. Oh, we have DeSantis where he's a hope. I want him to stay in Florida another 4 years. Now people say, oh, you're going to have Trump. And they go, well, we don't want to have Trump because, well, we need Trump, my dear friends. You need a man who builds, who can pull us out of the quicksand, who can give a foundation back to this country, who can clean out the politicians that are corrupt, that stink, that smell. They smell like dirty, still water. You know what a still water is like if you just leave it there and it doesn't flow through. Well, that's what these politicians are. These politicians are mudslingers. They're still water. They breed bacteria. And that's what is infecting our nation. You talk about environment. The environment in Washington, D.C. is worse than anything you can imagine. It's corrupt. It's molded. Those politicians have been in office for how long? And we're not doing anything about it, are we? We're angry at a guy's couple of tweets and his demeanor, as long as we have a nice guy that lulls us to sleep, the whisperer. He's nice. He's okay. He's a moderate. I don't want that. I want someone that's going to pull us out of the quicksand that's happening to our nation right now, my dear friends. Back in a minute. We'll talk about Pelosi. Shut up and play.
Does your current bathroom need to be updated immediately? Introducing One Day Bath and Shower Remodeling, the complete and hassle-free way to get the new bathroom of your dreams in as little as 1 day, and for as little as $199 a month. Yes, the experts at One Day Bath and Shower Remodeling will come to you anywhere in the country and show you all the customized options. Now you can have a brand new bathroom in as little as 1 day. Large or small bathrooms, if you want a new bathtub or shower installed, we can do it in as little as 1 day. And if you call right now, you can save $750 off your remodel. We make it easy by offering you financing as low as $199 per month. Call now to schedule your free in-home consultation.
855-525-7454. 855-525-7454. That's 855-525-7454. You order a glass of your favorite Cabernet.
fresh asparagus, hollandaise on the side, a filet, medium rare. You unfurl your napkin with a flair, close your eyes, and prepare to listen. Ah, there it is. The sweet music you long to hear. The sizzle. The sizzle of a Ruth's Chris steak.
The most magnificent corn-fed prime beef, broiled to perfection at 1800 degrees. Some call it a sizzle. We call it an anthem.
As the waiter approaches, you think, is this one mine or that one?
Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. Like Ruth always said, life's too short to eat anywhere else.
Make a reservation online at ruthschris.com or by calling 800-544-0808. Have you heard about Vine to Bar chocolate? It's the winemaker's chocolate, the world's first chocolate made with well-vined Chardonnay marc from the beautiful coastal vineyards of North America. Gently pressed grapes are harvested after juicing, dried and finely milled and carefully blended into the finest dark chocolate. The Chardonnay marc contains highly beneficial grape nutrients, flavonols, and has a natural sweetness that flavors the luscious dark chocolate. Mouth-watering, flavorful, delectable dark chocolate goodness with Chardonnay sweetness and beneficial nutrients. And it's alcohol-free, too. It's Vine to Bar chocolate. Order some today at vinetobar.com. That's VINETOBAR.com. Cold shipped to your door, it's Vine to Bar. Vine to Bar chocolate. Visit us at vinetobar.com.
The smartest way for you to get the lowest prices on your plane tickets, domestic or international, is to call SmartFares first or last, but you've got to call us before you book your plane tickets. Fly anywhere in the world, fly anywhere in the U.S., and SmartFares can save you up to 75% on your plane tickets. We have the lowest airline ticket prices on over 500 airlines, and you've got a great 12-hour free cancellation window. Plus, with our live agent help, you can always get fast help and fast answers. So on your next trip, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, how about right now? Pick up your phone and call SmartFares, plus save up to 75% on your plane reservation. So call right now. 800-915-2644, 800-915-2644, 800-915-2644, 800-915-2644.
The Robert Davi Show.
This is authentic.
Una furtiva lacrima negli occhi.
So, let's take over to another politician now, Nancy Pelosi. Now, Nancy Pelosi, Democrat from California, you know, she had her fingers in the Presidio, and if you Google the Presidio, you'll see that the first tenant there was a man named Gorbachev. And supposedly Agenda 21 was created at that little juncture, at that place. I don't know if it was, but it said that it is. So now, Speaker Pelosi has just warned U.S. athletes attending the genocide games in Beijing that they risk the wrath of the ruthless Chinese government if they speak out against human rights abuses. Speaking at Congressional Executive Commission on China hearing, Nancy Pelosi said the United States has an urgent moral duty to shine a bright light on China's human rights abuses. That's what she said. Now, when the Winter Olympic Games begin in Beijing, the Chinese will once again attempt to distract the world from a decades-long campaign of abuse and repression. Now, Pelosi said, but the United States and the international community know the truth. And while we fully support and will root for our athletes, we cannot and will not be silent on human rights in China, she later added. Over the next 2 weeks, it is our urgent moral duty to shine a bright light on the many human rights violations being perpetrated by the host nation. And then she scolded the International Olympics Committee for turning a blind eye to China's human rights abuses. This is what she said. If we do not speak out against human rights violations because of commercial interests, we lose all moral authority, she spoke out about. And she says this to our athletes. After she said all of this, after she said we have to speak out, and her moral outrage against all of this, and if we do not speak out against human rights violations, here's what she said. I would say this to our athletes. You are there to compete. Do not risk incurring the anger of the Chinese government because they are ruthless. I know there's a temptation on the part of some to speak out while they're there. I respect that. But I also worry about what the Chinese government might do to their reputations, to their families. This is what Nancy Pelosi said. So she told U.S. athletes not to speak out against Chinese Communist Party in Beijing, lest they risk incurring the anger of the Chinese government. After she said that we have to speak out against the abuses, but don't speak out because they may punish you for it, for speaking out. Now, I've heard the term forked tongue, but this isn't a forked tongue that Pelosi has, my friends. This is more than a forked tongue. This is two tongues. It's not even forked. Forked is one tongue. Pelosi is a very curious individual. I think she has two tongues. And both of them lie to the American people. And we let her lie, and we let her get away with this continually, over and over again. It's beyond me that she's been in office so long, and she's bamboozled all those wonderful Hollywoodites in California and up north. She knows how to play the game. Her daddy was a mayor of Baltimore, Maryland. Yes, you know, she even is kind of forked. She's more than, she knelt at the statue of Junipero Serra, a saint, with the Pope, Pope Francis, in 2015, I believe it is. Beautiful picture of her kneeling with the Pope. But guess what? When they tore the statue down recently, she says, who cares about statues? And about Columbus. So I care about them. And I understand what she says, but they represent something, don't they? I mean, who cares about statues? I guess they keep putting up different kind of statues. I wonder if they put up a statue of Stalin. She would love it. Maybe they should do that in her district in San Francisco. They should put up a statue of Stalin, Joseph Stalin. I think Pelosi would need that. And so anyway, the hypocrisy of that. Now, athletes in America can speak out against anything, but yet we go to a foreign country and we're not allowed to speak out against the human rights abuse. Only in America can we lift a leg and relieve ourselves on America and on the American flag. That's okay to relieve yourself because there's, you'll get applauded for that. It's very sad to me. We let it happen, my dear friends. Again, vote. 2022 elections coming up. Who are you going to vote for? Are you going to vote again? You really have to do your due diligence, my dear friends. This is our responsibility as citizens of the United States. We've abdicated our responsibility to who we're putting in office. We've abdicated it. We have let it happen. We've let it just slip away. So what else? And they continued, faux pas that Joseph Biden continues to give us. He's like the gift that keeps giving, but I don't want to keep beating up on Joey. Joey Biden, we knew he was a backslapping guy for years. We knew what Joe Biden was. That's not the issue. The issue is all of politics. We've let it get away with us. I'm at fault. I know better. I know better, and I let them get away with it. And I'm in the Hollywood community, and they let them get away with it. How? How? Now, there's so much going on. Let me see. What else can we talk about? Trying to find out my next little subject. Let's see. What hits me in the eye? Oh yeah, the ISIS leader. You know, Joe got the ISIS leader. And now that's kind of like, you know, wag the dog or whatever they call it. I mean, really? What's going on in the world right now? And they kind of like, you know, give him a success of that. We've got the ISIS leader. I mean, we need a distraction. Let's get somebody. What about here? What about the fentanyl? What about the difficulties, the lack of law and order in our country? What about that? You know, and then we have CNN. There's a new CEO of CNN. They're going to say they're the leader in news to the left. And the boss of CNN's new parent company said Friday that the network was
I'm Al Simon, 91 years young. I created Balance 7 20 years ago. I don't believe God intended for us to be old and sick. For 10 years, I studied pH and how important it is to the immune system. No doctor or hospital can do what Balance 7 can do for you. Balance 7 is the key to unlocking a healthy immune system. In 3 days' time, you'll feel more energy, less joint discomfort, and clarity of thinking. Bring your body back to balance. Order now and receive free shipping and a free bottle of My Smooth Skin.
Get your body back in pH balance with Balance7.com. Balance 7 unlocks the immune system. Your body will respond in a wondrous way. Your energy level will go up, joint discomfort will be reduced, and heartburn no longer a problem. We have a 100% money-back guarantee. You have everything to gain. If you're sick and you don't want to be, Balance 7 is the answer. If you're healthy and want to stay healthy, Balance 7 is the answer. Go to Balance7.com. That's Balance7.com. Use the code word BALANCE and get free shipping. Balance7.com. That's Balance7.com. You're experiencing pain, back pain, shoulder, elbow, or hand pain, pain from a sports injury. If so, schedule a visit with Dr. Michael Sheps, the leading expert in laser therapy for pain management. Call 310-873-4422 or go to drsheps.com. Experience Epic T, the breakthrough laser therapy system that Dr. Sheps developed to make you pain-free in less time. Laser therapy is a non-invasive, safe, and effective in-office procedure that penetrates deep into your skin without damaging the tissue. It perfectly targets areas of pain to promote fast, natural healing. Relax your muscles, ease muscle spasms, joint stiffness, and arthritis pain while increasing blood circulation. For over 25 years, Dr. Sheps has helped Olympic athletes and sports enthusiasts alike get back in the game. Schedule your visit with Dr. Sheps visit his Brentwood office in California. Call 310-873-4422 or visit drsheps.com. That's DRSHEPS.com. 310-873-4422.
What are you going to do with your old car? You can try selling it, you could junk it, or you could donate it to Heritage for the Blind. Your car will be towed away for free, and your donation is tax deductible. Just call 1-800-785-9618. Heritage for the Blind accepts cars, vans, trucks, and boats. It doesn't matter if your vehicle runs or not. It will be towed away for free, and you'll be supporting those that need help. Heritage for the Blind is a nonprofit organization that helps the visually impaired live fuller lives. Call right now to donate your car, and as a special thank you for calling, you'll receive a free 3-day vacation voucher to many exciting locations. Call Heritage for the Blind right now, 1-800-785-9618. Donating is easy, and your vehicle is towed away for free. Plus, you'll get a free vacation voucher. Call now, 1-800-785-9618. That's 1-800-785-9618.
The Robert Davi Show.
Mike? You let me down, Mike. You're making me look bad. Thought we had an understanding. And all I expect is a little cooperation!
Sorry, Robert.
All right, my dear friends. So, as everything's going along, there's a guy named Ray Dalio. He's a company called Bridgewater. And he sees that the U.S. is on the path to a civil war as the political polarization rises. And he said yesterday that the U.S. appears to be on a classic path towards some form of a civil war amid a dangerous combination of the deficits, the high taxes, inflation, gaps in wealth, and values that lead to political polarization. Now, let's talk about gaps in wealth. How do we function with gaps in wealth? I mean, how much wealth do people need? And is there enough wealth to go around for the rest of the world? I mean, I don't understand how we deal with gaps in wealth. I mean, there was always gaps in wealth. When I was growing up, there were people that had money and people that had less money or little money. Grandparents came from Sicily and Naples. They had no money. Worked menial jobs and worked up, and now their offspring have become successful to some extent. So how do we go about not having any I mean, it's almost like, they bring this up because it's a communist, let's make everybody equal. I think everyone should wear we should all be Maoists. Let's wear the gray uniforms with the gray cap. Everyone should drive the same car. We should have one car, one kind of house. Every individual aspect should be ripped off of every single one of us. No one should have any individuality. And we should all have the same, eat the same food. We should have no uniqueness, one company. No different companies at all. Let's do away with the wealth income inequality, gaps in wealth. Let's do away with gaps in wealth and values. Let's do away with it. Come on. Are you game for it, my dear friends? Because this is what they keep crying about, don't they? Yeah, there's gaps in intelligence. But let's make sure that even those that are more intelligent, I have a certain kind of IQ, a certain kind of ability. I have different abilities than other people, but I never said, oh, that guy has better ability than I do at this or that or the other thing. Whatever it was, it's the cards that are dealt. If I wanted to learn something, I worked harder to get what I wanted to get. I worked harder. I didn't feel that I was suppressed. I didn't feel I was victimized. Didn't feel that. I said, I've got to work harder. How can I rise up? Because it's about rising up. But we have a culture today that wants to say, let's all be the same. You shouldn't have what I don't have. I mean, how disgusting is it? And who's feeding us this? Well, is it the educators? that have been bought just like the politicians. I started off today telling you how many politicians have bought into China. Now, China has wealth. Russia has wealth. You have the Politburo over there that are wealthy. Who's feeding this crap to people? Then I say every congressman should get $10 a day. They should get the same amount of money as a guy cleaning the streets. No more retirement funds for Congress and Senate. If you want to be in there, take your money away. Let's give it to the people. It doesn't stop, my dear friends. Where does it stop? I mean, it sounds insane, right? It sounds crazy. Gaps in wealth and values that lead to political polarization. And then you have foreign powers, the beautiful foreign powers that are becoming strong enough to challenge the leading world power that is encountering this civil war dynamic. It's a risky period. And we all believe that. Now, Dalio believes that, the billionaire founder of Bridgewater Associates, that the left and the right are fighting to win at all costs, eliminating moderates and the ability to compromise as a result. He says that the loss of truth in the public domain was making some people too afraid to speak up or run for office. The biggest question is how much the system will bend before it breaks. And history shows that the biggest risk to democracies is that they produce such fragmented and antagonistic decision-making that they are ineffective and disorderly, which leads to bad results and revolutions. Now, the current foment, the current bed, flower bed, is consistent with leading to some form of civil war. Not knowing what is true because of distortions in the media and propaganda increases people becoming more polarized, emotional, and politically motivated. When the causes that people are passionately behind are more important to them than the system for making decisions, the system is in jeopardy, isn't it? When winning becomes the only thing that matters, unethical fighting becomes progressively more forceful in self-reinforcing ways. Now, what he's saying is in 2022, elections will see losses by moderates and gains by extremists. Populists at each of the parties will have fights between the moderates and the extremists. That the extremist populists will win because each side wants fighters, not compromises, and moderates will also choose not to run. So now, willing to fight. You know, I remember when Hillary Clinton gave her concession speech. You see, what he's saying, Dalio's saying, is that, see, conservatives haven't fought. Conservatives have been busy creating life and lives, for the most part, as are some on the left, of course, the moderate left. But what we find here, what happens more often than not, is the fear when the right, when the conservatives rise up and say enough, because that silent majority is strong. And you've got to wake up, silent majority. You've got to wake up. 2022 is the bedline. 2022 has to be the beginning. You have to put the line in the sand. We've got to create a society that works for all of us, while without denigrating one over another. It's not about the lowest common denominator. Even in school now, the SATs are being lowered. You know, they're lowering everyone's ability to educate themselves in a certain way. They're dumbing down the population so there could be equal intelligence. There's not equal intelligence. You can't have that. Some people work harder, some people have a better, but we can give people opportunity if they want to work hard. You've got to want to work hard. You've got to keep at it. You can't just let yourself coast and slide. That's the danger. We're in this permissive danger of stupidity, of not wanting the best for our children. No, we don't. And I mean the best in terms of all our children. The best education. Let's raise those standards, not lower them. Let's raise the standards. Why lower them? So some people can feel better? No. Then let's put them through different segments till they get there. There's a better system. There's a better way of doing all of this. But people aren't thinking common sense. They're thinking in the old systemic ways. And we've got to change that. We've got to change education. Yes. There has to be a re-entry in some way into our society. And we have forces that are bringing us down. So we're being attacked on all levels. It's like a swarming of all kinds of insects. I mean, you know, for different insects, you need different treatments, right? That's what they say. You need different treatments for different insects. But this here, how do you take care of this now? How does this all of a sudden come along? How do we keep it? This is my little light here. You're not watching me. How do we get these things done? How can you get, say you have termites. Well, that's a different treatment. And then you have spiders, and then you have whatever it is. Different bugs have different treatments. Not one treatment fits all. But we've got to figure out what we got to do. Anyway, my dear friends, I'll see you on Monday. I've got a full weekend ahead of me. And God bless you. God bless America. I feel like I could fall asleep for a week. It's been tense. If you don't know, I've been moving. So forgive my disjointedness, my friends. And have a wonderful weekend. Be close to your family. Say some prayers. And, you know, appreciate what you have. On Monday, I want to read a letter that a mother wrote about her child who recently passed away, that I think is a very heartwarming thing. Anyway, God bless all of you.
Let's talk about